Video for Assignment 63, Math Lesson 9.1, Coordinate Grids. Take a look at the points you plotted in your math journal on page 292. There was a little grid like this in the upper right corner, and you were asked to plot several points. Okay, and let's look and see how you did on plotting those points. The first point was 4, 0. Okay, that point should be right there. The second point was 0, 4, which is right here. Anytime either your x number is going to be 0 or your y number is going to be 0, you're going to be right on the line. The third point you were asked to do was 0, 0, right there. And the fourth one was 5, 1 and a half. And then the last point was 1.25, 4.75. So we're talking about right there. Okay, how did you do with plotting those points? Hopefully pretty well. Now, I have some notes that I want you to put in your notebook. Okay, so go to your next clean page, and at the top of the page I want you to put coordinate grids. That's our topic. And I want you to copy this coordinate grid into your notebook. Now, you'll notice this one looks a little different than this one here from the math message. What we have here in the math message is actually just a picture of one quadrant of the whole grid. The whole grid extends from the 0 in all 4 directions. It goes positive along the x-axis and negative along the x-axis. It goes positive along the y-axis and negative along the y-axis. And a lot of times until now, you were just working with this one quadrant, the positive quadrant, okay, because you were younger. Well, now that you're in 5th grade, you're getting older and wiser, you're going to be working also with the other quadrants of the grid. In this quadrant, you're going to have some negatives. Anytime you go over into these areas, there'll be at least one negative number. Okay, so I just want you to understand, we're not going to work with these negative areas today, but I want you to understand that the whole quadrant grid has, or the whole coordinate grid has actually 4 quadrants. This is a quadrant, this is a quadrant, this is a quadrant, and this is a quadrant. And a lot of times you've only been working with this one quadrant right here. Now, make sure you're copying all of this down, this picture and everything, so you have that. And then these notes here. Points on the grid are named by ordered pairs. That's what we call these ordered pairs. Okay, when there's parentheses, a number, comma, another number, parentheses. Okay, we write this x, y when we don't yet know what the coordinates are for inside. X means that's the number for the x-axis. Okay, the x-axis is the horizontal one. We always do the x-axis first, and then y stands for the y-axis number, which is the vertical line. We always do the y-axis second. Okay, we call this an ordered pair. The numbers in the ordered pair are the coordinates. Okay, so you had different ordered pairs in your math message. The first ordered pair was 4, 0. So the coordinates were 4 and 0. Your x coordinate was 4, your y coordinate was 0. Now, really the most trouble that 5th graders have with working with coordinate grids is just remembering which direction to go first. I mean, that seems to be the toughest problem. Plotting points on a grid is not that difficult. It's kind of fun sometimes, but you have to make sure that you are doing the numbers in the right order. So my favorite way to remember that is by this saying here, move the ladder over before you climb up. That reminds me that I have to go across first, then up. There are other fun sayings to help you remember that. For example, across, alphabetically, across comes in the alphabet before up. A comes before U. So if you think of it alphabetically, across then up. You can also think about like an elevator in a building. You have to walk across the ground first and get into the elevator before the elevator can go up to the right floor. There's also a proverb, an ancient proverb that can help you remember. It says, you must crawl before you can walk. So if you think about crawling is horizontal and walking is vertical. Okay, so whatever you got to use to help you remember, it's across first, then up, or across first, then down, across, then down, across, then up. Okay, whatever you need to do to help you remember, remember that.